Hey friends, welcome to Finlyn Media. Nobody likes making mistakes, especially when there's money on the line. Even mistakes costing as little as 50 cents, can be pretty darn frustrating, so imagine how you'd feel, if you had made one of the most expensive mistakes in history. These companies made mistakes costing thousands, millions, and even billions of dollars. In this video, we will look at the most expensive mistakes made by companies, so hopefully whatever you've fudged up lately, won't seem so bad in comparison. Before we look further, if you are watching my video for the first time, please do not forget to subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications. Let's continue on to the video. Superman's mustache. Though it's never a good sign, reshoots in the film industry are fairly common, especially in massive blockbusters, when a lot of money is on the line. After filming Justice League, Warner Brothers decided a few scenes needed to be added or redone. But Henry Cavill, who played the Superman character, had already begun shooting Mission Impossible: Fallout, and this scheduling conflict proved to be quite the hairy situation. Cavill plays August Walker in Fallout, a role that required him to grow a mustache. Paramount refused to let him shave to reshoot his scenes as Superman, even though Warner Brothers begged them. Not only did coordinating the reshoots cost around $25 million, the studio had to pay a visual effects crew to remove Superman's mustache in all these scenes. Good thing they nailed it. A stockbroker's typo cost a Japanese company $225 million. In December of 2005, a small mistake cost Mizuho Securities, a Japanese company, an enormous amount of money. One stockbroker mistyped the data. He meant to offer a single share in JCOM's stock for 610,000 yen, about $5,000, on the New York Stock Exchange, but instead, he ended up offering 610,000 shares for 1 yen. Investors pounced on the opportunity, buying up a great deal of the mispriced stock. The loss was somewhat mitigated by stock exchange rules, which only allowed the stocks to be sold for as low as 572,000 yen. Still, the company lost around $225 million due to the mistake. Yahoo sells to Alibaba. This story is now legendary in the tech and finance industries. In 2005, Yahoo owned 30% of Alibaba, a profitable Chinese multinational e-commerce, technology, and retail behemoth. 7 years later, they decided to sell half their stake to Alibaba at $13 a share. At the time it seemed like a good deal. Yahoo made $7.6 billion. Fast forward to 2014. Alibaba goes public, and breaks records when their stocks rose to $68 a share. Today shares in Alibaba are worth $150. The company is valued at around $84 billion, and Yahoo sold its internet business to Verizon in 2017, for $4.8 billion. $39 flights across the world. $39 would be a great deal for a flight from Los Angeles to San Diego, so you can imagine how excited travelers were to score flight tickets from Toronto to the Mediterranean island of Cyprus for $39. This happened to chagrin of Alitalia, the airline company that offered the deal by mistake. It was a typo. The tickets were supposed to cost $3,900, but their website was offering the tickets sans a couple of zeros. About 2,000 people got tickets before the company could fix the price. The company did the right thing and honored the cheap tickets, which cost them about $7 million. Man throws away 7,500 bitcoins in 2009. Few saw the way cryptocurrency would take off in the coming years. Unfortunately for James Howell, he was not one of the few blessed with the foresight. shortly after acquiring 7,500 bitcoins, when they were worth very little. Mr. Howell spilled coffee on his computer. He salvaged and sold most of the parts, and got all the information he thought he'd need, off of the hard drive. The hard drive sat in his drawer for years, before he threw it away during a move. When he realized his mistake, and after seeing the way Bitcoin had taken off, he began searching for the lost hard drive in the city dump. To make matters worse, the Newport City Council barred him from continuing the search due to concerns about the environmental impact of disturbing potentially hazardous waste. Bitcoin peaked when it hit $19,783 in December 2017. This means that Howell essentially threw away $148 million. Robert Wayne sells his Apple stock for $800. Steve Jobs is a household name, and most moderately tech-inclined people are familiar with Steve Wozniak, but many are unfamiliar with Apple's third founder Ronald Wayne. Wayne drew Apple's iconic logo, and served as an intermediary between the two innovative Steves. Jobs' strong personality clashed with Wayne, eventually prompting him to sell his 10% stake in the company for $800 in 1976, a decision that prevented him from becoming a multi-billionaire. Apple became worth over $1 trillion. Despite missing out on enormous earnings, Wayne said he has no regrets in leaving the company. Blockbuster could have bought Netflix in 2000. Before video streaming services became all the rage, you used to have to go to these places called video stores, where you'd rent movies. If you kept it past the due date, you'd have to pay a late fee. Blockbuster was the biggest of these video store chains. Netflix was a successful newcomer with an interesting business model. In 2000, the co-founder of Netflix met with the CEO of Blockbuster to propose a partnership. Netflix would run Blockbuster's online brand, and Blockbuster would promote Netflix in stores. Blockbuster CEO and his team laughed Netflix co-founder out of their office. 10 years later, Blockbuster went bankrupt. Netflix is currently worth $15.8 billion. Excite could have bought Google during its infancy. If you remember the early days of the internet, you might remember Excite. In 1999, it was the second most popular search engine, and Yahoo was number one. Google, then called bankrupt, was a promising new competitor in the search engine market. Excite was interested in buying the company for $750,000, but passed when Google insisted that its technology replace Excite's. Muddingly, one of the main reasons cited for Excite passing on Google's technology was because they thought it worked too well. Users would find the information they wanted and move on too quickly, and Excite would lose precious revenue. Later, Excite was sold to Yahoo in 2004, and recent estimates value Google at $167 billion. The Titanic hits an iceberg. You are undoubtedly familiar with this infamous story of ignored warnings. Nicknamed the Unsinkable, the RMS Titanic was the largest passenger ship in history in 1912. In a sad twist of irony, the Titanic hit an iceberg in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and disproved its nickname of the Unsinkable on its very first voyage. Despite being warned of the impending danger, the crew decided to embark on the ill-fated route. On April 15, 1912, the boat scraped its right side along an enormous glacier, causing the vessel to take on water and sink. The monetary loss is estimated to be around $7.5 million. About $175 million in today's currency. While this is a steep cost, that pales when compared to the loss of life. Over 1,500 people died. Hope you liked this video. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell button in order to be notified as soon as I post a video.